My life has been very meaningful, primarily because of students like you, because when I go inspire a lot of them with my whatever I do as my career, and whatever I do as a person to myself, to sustain myself as a leader, as a motivator, people start getting autographs from me, people start getting my numbers and being in touch with me just to be inspired, just to be guided. I am telling you, more than all these achievements, I consider my students' contacts, my friends' contacts are the greatest records for me. And that's the reason I call myself and I'm recognized as a leader, for which I'm given this year, in 2010 that is, and the JCI National Awardee of being the outstanding young Indian in the country. And now, they awarded me for three different reasons, in fact, as is mentioned in the citation. One, for being the only visually challenged voiceover artist. By the way, let me ask you a question. Do you understand the fact when your teachers say that I'm visually challenged? Do you? Now, gone are those days when people used to call others as blind, deaf, lame, mentally retarded, and so on. We just call people as challenged. The lovely term attached to that is mentally challenged or auditorily challenged, orally challenged, all that. That is a positive dimension to the so-called challenge from the outsiders of that so-called disability and the people, those who go through the disability as parts of their lives. So that's another important thing. If you want to be a leader, you must be positive, right? Let me ask you a question. Do you think are leaders born or made? What do you say? Are leaders born or made? Born, made, okay. According to me, probably as example, we have Alexander the Great. Heard of them? Heard of the dynasty? Right? Alexander, his guru. Who was his guru? Thank you. Was it a teacher? No, student. Alright. Aristotle's student Alexander the Great was a leader, and his leadership was pretty prominent even as he was a young boy. He started having great ambitions to conquer the entire world. So what's in a leader? Have ambitions. Have ambitions. Have your long-term goals, aims, aspirations, and so on. He had this ambition and he could almost achieve that. Of course, the same great king. There are only 3 people in history, in the world history, who had this phrase attached great. Who are they? Yes? Yes? Supervisor, please give him a round of applause. Round of applause. Nice applause. Alexander the Great, Xanthar the Great, and Ashoka the Great, of course, of these two, of his 3, I'm sorry, 2 happen to be Indian emperors. Now, they were called great, not just because of their kingdom being expanded in terms of territories and landscape, but also because of their qualities, because of their ambitions, because of their aspirations. Alexander the Great had this ambition as a child, and he worked on that ambition. He never slept. All of us have ambitions, am I right? If you ask a child, the child would say in the morning, if you ask him or her, what would you like to become? It is, I want to become a police officer. In the afternoon, it comes back from the school, it goes through the car or jeep or bus or whatever, and it says, I want to become a jeep driver. At night, the father comes back and the father has some job. Let us say he's a clerk in a particular company or something. C-L-E-R-K is pronounced as clerk, not clerk. What's that? Thank you. So the clerk comes back and asks the question, darling, come here. What would you like to become? I want to become a clerk. Okay. So the ambition changes. Alexander had no such fluctuations in his ambition. Even in his half sleep, he would always want to become the world conqueror, not just the king of Greece. He wanted to become the world conqueror. And he did that almost it was achieved. So, what's in a leader? Now that you've all become leaders of different captains, am I right? Houses of Helen, Gandhi, Sarojini Naidu, and sorry? So these 4 houses are there, and all these people have shown already the way for us to be leaders in their own aspects. Can I tell you one thing? Everybody can become a leader. All of us can become leaders. Actually, there has to be only one leader of a team. Am I right? There has to be one leader for a country. Am I right? There has to be only one leader for even a small team. Even at home, there has to be one leader. But I'm telling you something different. All of us can become leaders because in our lives, at this moment, especially in your lives, leadership is situational. What's that? Let me just ask you a question. You must have, while coming to school or during your holiday time, while going for a tour with your parents, you must have witnessed some accidents. Yeah? During that time, probably there will be traffic jam. Some person would emerge. Probably there will be traffic jam. Some person would emerge as a person who would take the initiative. If the cop is not there on the road, he would take the initiative. If the policeman is not there on the road, he would take the initiative and set the traffic right. Correct? He would say, oh, just go this way. No, you just go. No, stop. Don't come in between. And he would just say, sometimes, I remember to have seen such a thing. Just about a couple of weeks ago, even an auto driver did that. Who? An auto driver did that. So situations sometimes can also make you leaders, and your leadership quality is revealed at that time, revelation. Correct? And people take initiatives. Initiative is an important dimension if you really want to lead somebody or some team. Taking initiative, right? Holding responsibility, putting it in action. Now, there are 5 approaches. Suppose, see, you've all become team leaders. You have some responsibilities. Remember, leadership is not simply a better process where you have commanding position and say, do this, don't do this. I am a leader. You are my follower. Sit down. Stand up. It's not that. Am I right? A leader sets the trend by leading in front. Now, in this case, the team leaders, for that matter, you would start setting the trend by leading in front. Suppose you want your team members to come in time. Who should come in time first? The leader should come in first. The leader should come before the team members and set the trend. So what happens? You have to manage your time well. You've got to plan your time well. Right? That's very important. I talked about an auto driver who actually exhibited his initiative skills during a a minor accident when the traffic jam happened. But he may not exhibit the same quality all the time. So it is situational. If you want to become a leader consistently, if you want to cultivate the quality, you've got to be first of all aware of yourself. We need to be aware of ourselves. Who am I? The biggest question, probably it has not been answered properly by even mystics and saints. Who am I? But we can answer that in probably the most practical way possible as to what our value system is. Like for instance, credibility. Have you heard of this word? Credibility? C-R-E-D-I-B-I-L-I-T-Y. Credibility? Credibility. Repeat that. Credibility means nothing but you need to have honesty and initiative ability. When you say honesty, there has to be consistency between, what's that? Between your thoughts and words. You should not say something but think something else, or think something and say something else. Say, all of you should come in time, okay? Tomorrow at 8:30, you must all be here. Okay, the next day happens, the leader comes exactly at 9 o'clock. Very good. So the thought and the action, thought, word and action, I must say, have to be consistent. There has to be a proper coordination among these three: thoughts, words, and actions. Very good. Okay, you know something? If you want to become leaders, you don't need to become greatly elderly by age. You don't have to be old. Not all the time that only old people can lead. Who's the captain of Indian cricket team? Sorry? Mahendra Singh? Who was married? Look at the fingertips, sisters. They have all the information in fingertips. Okay, yes. He married his? Look at that, you know your name. And who was she? Classmate. Ah, very good, I say. Okay. In the cricket team, how many are there in the cricket team? 11, right. In the cricket team, is Mahendra Singh Dhoni the most senior person? No. There are people who are definitely much more senior, like
well, the ball was nicely coming onto the bat. At the same time, I was just not able to really talk something, and it was just a corporate thing, and I just thought that Mahendra Singh Dhoni is a captain. Today, Kapali was happy, and we just trying our best.
who's that?
Sachin.
Okay, now Sachin Tendulkar probably is one of the oldest one in the team, most senior persons in the team. He's got record, no doubt, but he's one of the senior most persons in the team. And who was the captain of the team? Dhoni is the captain of the team. To be a captain of the team or to be a leader of a particular organization or a particular setup, you don't need to be old. You just need certain qualities. You have to have certain qualities like being proactive. That is, you do things first. You set the trend, as I said in the beginning. You start doing things in front. You always think about the future. For example, the Gandhian team will always think about what can our team do something different in the coming meet. It may be a sports meet. Do you have sports meet? Yes. Okay. Do you have talent exhibition kind of stuff? I mean, any musical competitions and other events? Yes. During such events, the Gandhian team would always think, plan for it ahead. I'm not talking about only the Gandhian team. It's a Helen team, it is a Sarojini team, it's a Dominican team, all the teams put together. leader will always form, and the leader has to be the person who actually has to initiate it. What? There's a word called VISION. What's that? I always tell people, my dear friends, I always tell people that I may not have sight, but I have vision. How's that? I do have a bit of sight, of course. I get this, the difference between light and darkness. It's a different show altogether. But I don't see people much clearly, alright? Nevertheless, I have vision. What do you mean by vision? Yeah, you don't have to answer. I just give you some time to think. Vision is nothing but the ability to perceive what could possibly happen in future. In other words, planning about the future. In simple words, planning about the future. You not only get lost in the past. Oh, we were defeated in the last sports meet. What to do? Our team did not win the trophy. Okay, so what? We didn't get the shield. So what? What about your vision? Vision for the next year. Vision for 2 years from now. In fact, big organizations, leaders always plan for not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow. What's that? When I say the day after tomorrow, it was just figurative usage. Not literally the day after tomorrow. They plan things well ahead. Well ahead. How will my organization be 20 years from now? Not 2 days from now. 20 years from now. How will it be? We had such visionaries. Such people are called what? Visionaries. What's that? Visionaries. A leader has to be a visionary. So that's what I mean by being proactive. You start doing things. You start having that. And you must be able to articulate. See, always the team leaders, the 4 leaders, and especially, not to suggest that I don't talk to the other friends of mine, especially to these 4 leaders, make sure that you have some small get-together, small meetings or something, maybe even for 15 minutes, half an hour meeting. Just articulate your ideas and thoughts and say, you articulate your thoughts, your ideas as far as your vision is concerned, what you need to do. For that leader has to be personally honest. Integrity must be there within the person. Time sense has to be there. Empowering others. You know something? A leader is one who leads, but a great leader is one who makes others lead. A leader is one who leads others, but a great leader leads, not just leads, but he makes others lead even after his death. We've got the examples even in history. Certain movements were founded, certain organizations were founded, certain parties were founded, but once the leader passes away, it collapses, it disorganizes, it dismantles itself, it goes into disarray. Why? The leader has not empowered the others to take the initiative. So that is another quality we need to have in order to become great examples and role models for the followers, right? And of course, networking matters. Work as a team. We need to work as a team. The team matters. In this school, there are 4 teams, and each team has a leader. How many may be there in a team? I just don't know the figures. How many? In a team, in a house, how many? $100, $50, $200? Like Helen House, how many are there? 300, is it? It's a big team. It is bigger than the employee strike. Okay, now the girl who leads a team has to be proactive, she has to be in time for all the things, and she has got to empower people to take responsibility, and she's got to network. Network refers to working as a team. A lot of people have talents to work as individuals, but when you form as a team, they fumble. The leader has to bring all these people together, identifying the talents of the individual to the team and actually give them the responsibility. So you have to delegate the responsibility, you have to split the work according to people. Leaders should not go on doing everything. See, one day, Gandhi, father of nation, he went to South Africa. He was staying in a place with a lot of other people, of course. The toilets in the place were not very clean. What he did, he went and took the initiative himself by what? Cleaning the toilet. He did that himself. But from the next day, from the next 2 days or 3 days onwards, the others started doing it. But if Gandhi went on doing it for 365 days, he would not be an effective leader. If he would go on cleaning the toilet for all the 365 days, then he would be a miserable leader. He would just be a good individual. He would be a noble individual. I still remember a great sentence in Gandhi's life. When he just came back to India after the South African success, press people gathered and they asked him a question. Mr. Gandhi, you're talking about non-violence, satyagraha, all that is fine. Can you show us some examples from history? Any proof? Gandhi silently smiled and said, let us not look for examples in history. Let us make history, he said. Let us give him a round of applause. I say that was a lovely statement that he has made actually. Let us not look examples from history, let us make history. In other words, he started as a trendsetter. So a leader has a lot of responsibility. It is not simply an easy cakewalk. Ha, I'm a leader, right? Power is given to me so I can sit comfortably. Not that. A leader has to be a visionary, he has to be in time, she has to be proactive, she has to be absolutely a person to empower other people to do things. Right? That is what makes a leader. In fact, there are some leaders we have in history like Hitler. Am I right? Hitler? Mussolini? Stalin? Mustafa Kemal Pasha, who was he? What was his name actually were given in history? Ottoman Turk. Right. These people, the list of people that I've given right now, are people who are not really praised in the long run because they never had a long-term, noble objective. A long-term, noble vision. I emphasize on the word noble. They wanted to take vengeance. They wanted to be tyrants. They wanted to oppress people. They wanted to kill the enemies. They wanted to become dictators. Now, a leader, if tyrant, would not be successful in the long run. I underline the word long run. Stalin's statues are being removed even from Russia now. So I think what I'm trying to say is a leader has to be a very diplomatic person. You have to be diplomatic in your teams as well. All that. Now, personal experience of mine. When I started when I started my career after my MA and Phil in English. By the way, I have a couple of records to share also. When I was doing my 10th standard in a special school for the visually challenged, I scored district first by scoring about 472. I was a district rank holder, not among the visually challenged, among everybody for that matter. I was Chennai first. And after that, I went on to doing my 11th and 12th with a school where I was the only visually challenged, where I scored, of course I chose my accountancy and commerce as my group of study, and I scored 200 out of 200 in my accountancy subject, and then 187 out of 200 in commerce. I had my own record. After that, I just went on to doing my Loyola College BA, MA, of course. In my MA, I was a gold medalist in the whole university at Madras. What happened was there was a subject called phonetics, 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 study of sounds. You talk about the English sounds. There are people who speak English very good with their native language influence. One more thing, I have not found such influence from any of the girls who just came and read anything here. Super, congrats. The sounds like the T, all were clear. And one more thing, that 4th standard boy was very cute, so sweet. Third or 4th? Third, oh, amazing. He was telling me, the school had a motto. Oh, it was very nice, right? He spoke very clearly. A leader has to be a good communicator, and a good communicator has to be clear. The seed is being sown even now. You know something? The boy deserves a round of applause, no doubt, but the teacher who trained him also needs definitely more appreciation for that. Super. Fantastic. The girl, I'm so sorry, extremely sorry. The 3rd standard girl who just did that was doing a perfect job. I was talking about phonetics as a subject. Phonetics is a study of sounds, where people talk about, you know something, I have a friend who just would talk English like this. Mr. Ilango, today morning, I saw a turning point which became a burning issue. In spite of the government warning, made a love story type of all that. So he would talk like that. Whereas I have a kid-like friend who would always talk like, Mr. Ilango, I have to go to college and drop my son into office. And then go, right? Take a lorry. All that. Don't talk in the middle. Right? And there are some people who murder English by talking like this. I talk, why you middle talk? I talk, middle talk, no talk, get lost. Right? Just say that. There are some people who just keep talking English like that. You know, there's a North Indian friend of mine who would always say, Mr. Ilango, it's my pleasure to meet you. Very good, pleasure. He talks about the word pleasure, I get pressure. Oh. So, now this study, phonetics, deals with all that as to how to avoid your native language influence, and mother tongue influence, and speak English reasonably well, at least as far as possible, with avoiding basic errors in pronunciation, to be intelligible and to be pleasant. When I talk to you, am I sounding pleasant? Yes. Do I sound friendly to you? Yes. Am I your friend? I hear only about 50 to 60 voices. Yes. The school has many people. What about all of you? Am I your friend? Yes. I have to go to an ENT. Right. So that's the study in which I scored I scored South Indian first in an exam conducted by the government of India. Phonetics was my favorite subject. Now, MPhil was my next pursuit, and after that doing my PhD right now. Of course, in MPhil, I just did my ELT, English Language Teaching, as to how to train teachers on English languages to effective teaching of English, both for the college and school teachers. Now, PhD is also there. That's all fine. I have a company of my own. I was with the University of Madras. Now, the reason why I'm talking about myself is that how a leader should think different. I was working with the University of Madras. I was drawing an attractive salary. In fact, after the 6th pay commission, the salaries become really attractive. And the most important thing is, you don't have to work. I'm sorry. Okay, now, so the salary was nice, but still, I resigned the job. I founded my own company. Now I have about 200 trainers in the team. I lead the team as its captain. I have a lovely team. Now the gentleman who just escorted me is Sendil Kumar. Give me a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. Why I wanted you to give him a round of applause was that I talked about empowering others to take responsibilities. It is not leader who just keeps everything in her sleeves and say, I am the leader, don't have to do anything, just do what I say. It's not that. You have to make people think and do things on your own, but first you set the example and make others do. And I am doing that with Sendil and the rest of the other team. And he's been my great support, great friend. But for him, probably I may not have been successful all this time. That is really amazing, right? So the team is set. The team is set for me. Lovely team is set for me. Even if I ask them to jump into the well, they'll do that. I would not do that. In fact, there is a joke. Can I share it with you? It seems during Hitler's time, he wanted to demonstrate to Stalin as to how powerful he was. So he took Stalin to the top of the ship, the upper deck, as it is called technically. Upper deck, middle deck, lower deck, all that we have in ships. So he took him to the upper deck, and he called one of his army persons, probably a soldier. He called him. He said, look, Mr. Stalin, see how my persons are obedient. They'll do whatever I want them to do. I'll demonstrate right now. Just, let me call. Hey, you, come here. Okay, he just came. He said, jump into the sea right now from the upper deck. He immediately jumped. He died. Stalin was shocked. What is this? A life is gone. Then I said, one more proof you want? He said, no, it's okay, one more proof I want you, I'll give you. You, next, come. Jump into the sea. Jumped. That's it. Gone. The third person was also called like that. You, come here. Before he jumped, Stalin held him and said, wait. What is this? You're sacrificing your own life for that. Then that man said out of frustration, I don't want to be with this man. I better jump into the sea and die. It's better that I jump and give away my life. I don't want to be under his dictatorship. Now let's not be leaders of that kind. We're not leaders of that kind, right? Now, after that, I talked about myself leading a training company and all that. I make sure that I set the trend. I make sure that I do all the 5 qualities, namely credibility, that is honesty, integrity and other values. Proactive, I set the trend. I become the example of that. No, it's okay, I'll take care of that. I take care of the volume, please don't reduce it. I'll take care of that. Thank you. The third one of course is empowering others. I need to make him, my team, my entire team become responsible. Even in my absence, they must act responsibly. That's it. Of course, time sense is very important. Time. You have to be on time. Deadlines are there in companies, organizations. Finish work in deadline. And the fifth one is, of course, networking. You need to network with people. You can't work like an island. No man is an. You have to work like a team. So since I follow this, I'm very, very, very happy. You know something, girls? I said, I've done my PhD, I have 3 careers and all that. I forgot to add one more career. I'm a singer. Professional singer. Probably I mentioned that subtly, but I forgot to add that in the list of my careers. I have all these credentials, no doubt. But you know something? The most precious thing I always consider myself about is the most important feature that I have in myself is, I always tell people this, that I am the happiest man in the world. I am the happiest man in the world. What makes me happy? What makes me happy? I believe in this lifetime creative slogan of mine which says, be happy and make others happy. First you're happy and make others happy. In Tamil it will be really very crisp. Magil, magilvi. Magil, magilvi. We say that. A lot of people don't get that Tamil properly. Magili, magilvi, they say that. Valapalam. All that. Right. So that you have to be careful while talking any language for that matter, whether it is Tamil, Hindi or English or Malayalam or whatever. When you just make the language as a communication mode, make sure that your pronunciation is at least not so unpleasant. Right, that's what, yeah. Okay, because a leader has to be communicative. Some of the leaders have not spoken much. Stalin would not talk much. He was always a silent person. Right? He would not speak much. But he had other qualities unique in him. But there are great leaders, we have in examples who have been great orators, who have been setting examples for trends like the greatest speech in the world, one of the ever greatest speeches in the world by Martin Luther. I have a dream. I have a dream. Come along with me. Jesus, in fact, was probably one of the greatest ever leaders of the entire humanity. Why? Because he was a very handsome man. Strong man like Sharat Kumar muscles or Arnold Schwarzenegger's muscles? No. He was born to sacrifice himself. Am I right? Sacrifice matters. A leader has to have the quality of sacrificing also, and he has to make sure that he makes the others inculcate that particular value of sacrifice. Everything is mine. I want everything. No. Right? Be selfish when it comes to blame. Take the blame on your shoulders. Be selfless when the credit comes. Share it with everybody. On that note, I want to just go to the second part of my presentation. What if somebody says, after talking for 1 hour, he says, okay, with this, I begin my speech. There are some people who talk like that, you know, they speak all the time. Look at some of the politicians' speech. This man, that man, and all that, and they speak for half an hour and say, now I come to the main matter of my speech. Okay, now let me just come to the most important second part of my presentation, which is your interaction. I believe in that. With the permission of the sisters here, the headmistress, let me ask for your interaction. I would like either the teachers and students, representatives to come along and ask me on anything before I sing a song. Do I have to sing a song? Yes! Do you want me to sing a song? Yes! This yes means that you're talking boring, so stop singing. Is that?
No! You're being boring. You're being boring.
I've been boring.
No!
Okay. I've been interesting. Yes! You know something? I'll teach you a nice technique. If you want to initiate something into a crowd when you like something, if something is said nicely, you start first clapping, the others will follow. The first person who clap would be the trendsetter. the rest will follow. As Jesus said, he was a good shepherd. The others followed him. Right? He was followed by the other people. He had the vision. He had the mind to be sacrificing his own body, his own life for the people. That's why even after 2000 years, he is a leader who cannot be thought of being compared with anybody in the world before and after him. Correct? Nobody could possibly compare himself or herself with Jesus Christ because of this quality of sacrificing. Right? He sacrificed himself. Okay, on that note, anything about being a leader, how to be successful in life, how to be motivated in life, how to be self-confident in life, how to be communicative in life, how to avoid certain basic things, even related to English language for that matter, how to be by and large happy in life, or you can ask questions about myself also, generally, one-to-one interaction, because I believe that this is the most important portion, especially from my point of view. I've been talking all the time. Had it been a smaller group, I would have come and interacted with you one-to-one, with each and every girl there. But then it would be impossible here, so I just did this kind of monologue almost, interactive monologue almost. So I want you to please ask me something. Teachers, most welcome. Sisters, you too, if you want to ask something. You, my dear lovely darling girls, ask me anything. You want to ask about, as I said in the beginning, on whatever I've spoken or whatever I've talked about myself, the more you want to know. Over to you. How can it happen? Mics, or can people come here, or how can it happen? Because I believe that this should be the purpose of my being here. I want your participation, at least a few. If the time is overseen, I'm so sorry. Just at least a few. திருவிளையாடல் கேள்விகளை நீ கேட்கிறாயா நான் கேட்கிறேன். You would like to initiate the question part of this? Want me to? I've already done that. It's over to you. Over to you. And my being here to give you some input on leadership. How about your own initiative right now? Who is going to initiate? At least the team captains? To ask something? I'm just getting ready with my song also in the meanwhile, because so that the time won't be wasted. Yes?
It's about how to develop our vision. Deepika, Helen House.
Which class?
11.
Helen House. Deepika. Deepika has asked the question, how to develop one's vision. Okay, vision, as I said at the beginning, is, see, I'll tell you something. A leader with a vision will always exhibit in terms of body language also. Her actions would always be reflected. The way she walks, talks, and even whenever now that I asked you to come up with questions, she has come first. So I'm sure Deepika would be a great leader in the days to come. I'm sure there are other leaders also equally would be coming here. St. Dominics is a great school, am I right? St. Dominicans are not inferior to anybody, yes? St. Dominicans are born to win, yes? Then ask me questions.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, now how to develop vision? Number one, always plan your day to start with, because when you say vision, it's not that every time you have to think about how I'm going to become the Prime Minister of India, I'm going to become the US President. It is not simply that. In your own life, for that matter, how to have a vision about yours. First of all, Deepika is doing 11th standard. How she wants to be, let us say after 2 years, when she goes to colleges, college life, to tertiary. What is her plan? She can have a personal action plan, PAP, I call it PAP, personal action plan. That personal action plan has to be every day noted. Let us say you just put a perfect note of that on your notebook or the place where you just have access, even at home for that matter. And make sure that you follow that action plan very well. Okay? So, number one, have a personal action plan about your future goal, like what exactly you want to study and how you want to become, if possible, which college also you want to study, all that. And work on that every day, 7 days, 24/7, no, except sleeping time. Okay? 365 or 12, all the time, at least one day for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, think about your vision, plan, do something about that. Have your aims, have your action plan towards that aim, and proceed accordingly. Start working from now onwards. This is the right time, Deepika. Wish you all the best.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir?
How to instill hope and confidence even after failure in a team, sir?
First your name and your house, or name house.
Blue House or Gandhi House?
Gandhi House. Okay. So Gandhians are not very active. When I say Helen House, people are clapped actually. The Gandhi House, they are sitting shouting. Okay. What's your name?
Devi Raghavi. Devi Raghavi.
Devi Raghavi, alright. Okay. Blue House, Gandhian House. And your question again, please. Sorry.
How to instill hope and confidence even after the failure in a team? How to make them more confident?
Superb. Superb. Okay. You know something? I love failure better than success. You know why? Because from failure, you can always rise up and go heights, great heights. Whereas if you are successful, there is a lot of stress that you need to be successful. You know something? I went to a school, I went to a college, I'm sorry, for a music competition as a judge. Where did I go? National Institute of Fashion Technology, yes, I remember. And there was a team which lost in that particular contest. It was a choir contest, the team lost. The boy came up and said, it happened even in SRM University, I remember. The boy came up and said, you know something guys? This time we lost because we wanted others to win. We wanted to know what failure is all about. Till last year, we have tasted success. We wanted to know what failure is all about. Look at the positive attitude. Right? I failed in life. Nobody likes me. Nobody likes me. That is a pessimist. That is a failure in true sense. Can I tell you something? Have you heard of Andre Agassi? Okay, for those who said no, he was one of the greatest all-time, he is one of the greatest all-time tennis players. Right? It is said of him, Andre Agassi. Andre Agassi was always written on newspapers like this. Agassi can lose a match, but he can never be defeated. Agassi can lose a match, but he can never be. Defeat is a very strong word. Strong word. Defeat. You're put down. Life is gone. Buried. One last nail on the coffin. It's not like that. Failures are the stepping stone to your success. All of us know that. It is only a man who fails can always come up in life. We all know the stories of Robert Bruce. You know that, don't you? We all know the stories of a lot of other people, Helen Keller. Okay, what about my life? We talked about history people or great leaders, all that. What about my own life? I am also one of the living examples. When I went to my 12th standard, I emerged from a Tamil medium background. Now my status is, I teach English to CBSE teachers and college lecturers, university professors as to how to teach English effectively. Emerging from a Tamil medium background, I failed. There were a lot of people who used to criticize me a lot of times, saying that, Mr. Ilango, yes, first improve your English, okay? Okay, I will improve. Not that. So you know something? Your failures are your guru. Your failure is the best guru that you can ever have. Your guru, your teacher. The difference between life and a teacher, we all have teachers here. The difference between life and school teacher is that the school teacher first teaches Okay, I said, what did I say just now? The difference between your teacher and life. Teacher and life. Generator. I don't think I can reach everybody like that. I would also lose my voice. We've got the power. We've got the power. I said the difference between our teachers, school teachers, and life is that our teachers first teach and conduct the exam, but life first conducts the exam and teaches. And one of the ways in which life teaches you, one of the ways in which life teaches you after the exam is failure. Failure is an exam. If you don't learn lessons, I'm afraid you'll be a miserable misfit in society. And I'm sure Dominicans will not be misfits. They will always rise up, whatever house they emerge from. So, good luck to all the houses. You all win in your own aspects in this life. Alright. Failures don't really matter. I talked about myself. I failed miserably many times in many aspects. I think if I start talking about that, I would require at least 1 more hour. At least 1 hour. I don't want to exist your time. Already you've all been standing on the hot sun. Really? Very painful? I'm also boring. No. Okay. Any more? What about stuff? One stuff, please.
Sir, you told that you're the most happiest person in the world. I know. Can you please tell us some of the qualities of yours which makes yourself as well as others very happy?
Rose to the secret of my energy.
Right. I'll tell you what. I said, I believe in this particular quality. Be happy and make others happy. When I'm happy, I make others happy. I make sure that everyone around me is made happy. Harmless happiness is the word I'm talking about. First one, be aware of yourself. Know your strength. Know your strength. Do not be despaired. Do not be affected by failures. Always learn lessons from failures. Make sure that every morning you get up, you look at yourself before the mirror and have a great smile. Great smile. Look at yourself in the mirror, even if you're not good looking. Okay, and make sure that you smile before the mirror and always use positive sentences in your mind. You know, when you think about that, I am great, I am good looking, I am loving, everyone loves me, all that, you know, so be positive. Positivity is the source of happiness. Being aware of yourself is a source of happiness. Honesty, integrity, being aware of yourself there is also a source of happiness. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And your name?
Sophia. I'm studying 10th standard.
10th standard, yes. Good question. Thank you, Sophia. You know what your name means, Sophia? Your parents told wisdom. Very good. You're a girl of wisdom. Thank you.
Excuse me, sir. Yes, sir. How should teachers be with students and students must be with teachers? How should students be with teachers and teachers should be with students?
View the students, is it? View the students.
Be with.
Why do you have to deal with your teachers? Be with the students. Okay. I always look at my students as my best friends. My students always look at me as their best friend. But you know something? Best friend does not mean Ilango. What the hell is happening, man? Stop teaching, okay? We feel bored in the classroom. Talk about some Vijay film, okay? Nice. We like that. Talk about some Ajit film. Talk about some XYZ film. It's not that. A teacher is one who facilitates knowledge. You know something? They say, tell me your friend, I'll tell you who you are. Nowadays I think, tell me your teacher, I'll tell you what your knowledge is. Your knowledge, your way of life, because most of the time nowadays is spent with your teachers, even compared to your time spent with your parents. Am I right? Please love your teachers. Make sure that you understand that they say everything for your good. Even if you have a difference of opinion with certain things, what they say, express it politely, nicely. Doesn't matter. Try expressing it politely, and they know better. They have seen life before you, and therefore, based on their experience and wisdom, they'll guide you. And I'm pretty sure the way, listen, please listen. The way the Dominicans have displayed your talent on stage through dance, music and oratorical ability, I'm sure you have excellent teachers here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Most welcome.
Excuse me, sir. Who was your inspiration in your life?
Who's my inspiration? I have a lot of inspirations in my life, but as far as my role model is concerned, I am my own role model. I think it's getting hot. The weather is becoming unkind. Let us.
Morning, sir.
Morning.
Sir, you said there should be some special qualities in leaders. So leaders make a difference. So how did we make a difference?
Well, how to make a difference? As I said in the beginning, by being proactive, by managing your time well, by empowering others to do things and networking with people. In other words, you set the trend. Leaders set the trend. Leaders don't simply command. Leaders simply don't dictate and sit back comfortably. They first do it and then they set the trend. That, I suppose, is I can answer a lot better, but then lack of time. Sorry.
Hi sir, what gave you this much interest to become so popular, sir?
So,
Popular.
am I popular?
Yes.
Okay. What has given me interest? Well, the interest, see, if at all I am standing here, it is because of a teamwork, starting from my mother, who's not been even to school. She has made me what I am right now. Starting from that to a lot of friends, even till this person who's just come here with me, Sendil Kumar I talked about, right? We have a lot of other people, even the driver who drove me here, our person, Albert. I think even these people also need a round of applause. Why don't you give them a round of applause? Yeah. Now, what has given me the interest? The interest towards life in general. Positivity, positive outlook towards life. Okay? I think I can share another interesting incident in my life, which is really going to be the real answer for this question. But probably when the girl sees me after this, I'll just do that, because I think we need to disperse right now, right? Because it's getting late, I'm so sorry. But positive outlook, positive attitude, loving others, and loving life. Enjoy your life, really. It's the greatest gift given to you on earth. Enjoy this life. That's very, very essential. You are poor, doesn't matter. You hail from an underprivileged background, doesn't matter. You have a physical challenge, doesn't matter. You have a language problem, doesn't matter. You have a not so good looking physique, absolutely doesn't matter. What really matters is your attitude. You should set the trend. You should start changing your perspective towards positivity.
உன்னை அறிந்தால் நீ உன்னை அறிந்தால் உலகத்தில் போராடலாம் உயர்ந்தாலும் தாழ்ந்தாலும் தலை வணங்காமல் நீ வாழலாம்.
Thank you. Yeah, was it nice? Yes. You know something? When this song was made, I was not even born. So, how much relevance it has got now? It says, when you walk in the midst of elite, erudite men, you must be garlanded. You must be attributed as a flawless character. Look at that. Flawless character means integrity, honesty, and more than that, be perfectly caring for others. That is. Oh, you have the prize distribution, of course. We have that, the most important part of the center event of this investiture ceremony. And congrats in advance to those who won the prize. All the very best to those who are going to win the prize next year. How about that? If I'm there next year, I'll also come and greet you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
For your thought-provoking and inspiring message. Your eloquent talk to all of us has been so informal and friendly, and we are happy that you have appreciated every part of our program and the entire Dominican family. You have stressed the need for women leaders, and this has boosted our morale. We enjoyed your excellent voiceover for the advertisements, and thank you for sharing your experiences with us. You have certainly given us food for thought, and we have been enlightened by your excellent words of wisdom on leadership, interspersed with examples. But most of all, we enjoyed your melodious singing. Thank you once again, sir.